Good game for us. I have a lot of respect for Coach Brodus and his Morgan State team. Really was a tough job to scout them. They scored well over 100 points their first 2 games of the season. Had to go back and watch games from the beginning and the end of last year. Study their KenPom sheet from the last few years to try to find trends, and they play true to who they are. They're one of the best teams in the country year in and year out at getting fouled and offensive rebounding. We got the job done in both of those areas for the most part. Obviously we like to do a better job taking care of the ball. Again, for us, I tell them that the foundation in this program has been laid well before we arrived, well before these current student athletes arrived, and we want to make sure every time we take the court, it's about more than just the opponent. We want to play the right way. We want to play the right way, and that's tough, that's physical, that's taking care of the ball, that's getting great shots.
Questions from the student athletes?
Josh said, obviously you had a pretty good game offensively with 8 for 9 from the floor, I believe. I mean, talk about just the offseason work you put in. Obviously, you made, I think, all 3 of your threes today.
Yeah.
To improve your jump shot and kind of the leaps that you've made this year offensively.
Yeah, I mean, I work every year trying to better myself. Player development is really big, and that's something that my coaches stress. And one of the nice things about them stressing that is I'm able to get it in almost every day with my coaches and with my teammates. I've worked out with probably every single one on my team within groups or as like a whole team. So I just want to continue to get better.
Devontae, just wanted to ask a bit about you getting hot a little bit there in the early going, and just you guys as a team being able to create as many open looks and make as many open looks as you did. Just what was kind of key to that? And is that kind of indicative of what you guys think you can do this year?
Just stay early on when they were pressing. Our goal was just to get the ball up the floor, and my teammates did a good job finding me, putting me in the right spots. Whether it was fast break, looking up, giving me the ball ahead, and finding me for an open 3 early on. So that was one of the things that we emphasized, was just pushing the ball and getting great open looks.
Devontae, you guys had some early success on handoff action, wide open shots. Is that something that you guys kind of like anticipated coming in, or you just saw that it was available and took advantage of it?
I mean, I just throughout the game, just saw that we were getting shots off it, and just played from that. Guys were making shots, guys were finding each other. So I feel like we just went with the game as we played, and just took advantage of the things that we saw were working for us.
You guys had 10 turnovers in the first half, but the second half kind of cracked down on only had 7. What was the message at halftime, and then how did you guys kind of switch that up in the second half?
It was definitely a big message to take care of the ball and play solid, play to our principles. We had a couple of silly ones. I know I had 3 going into the half, and so just making sure we play the way that we're supposed to play, making sure that we're getting better while we're playing the game. That's something that we've always emphasized, and it was definitely highlighted in halftime.
Josh, being from the area, obviously Devin was here at the game today. What kind of role do you play in helping recruit guys, and what's your pitch? Obviously, when you see guys can see a guy like you succeeding and excelling at George Mason, what's your pitch to more DMV guys to come play at George Mason?
Yeah, staying home is big. I mean, just for the fact that you're close to home, but also because we have a really good culture here, one that we continually get better. Like I said, we emphasize player development, and it's nice to be able to play close to home. Your family gets to see you, and yeah, I like it here.
For both of you guys, 3-0 start in general, handled all 3 of those games pretty handily. Just how would you kind of size up the team's development through the first week of the season?
I would just say we're just looking to get better every day. After every game, we just look at the things that we could work on, just to keep getting building on the things we did, and just keep working on things that we did well. So I just feel like we take it game by game, just getting better at everything, and just scrubbing out the things we did wrong and working on those things, getting ready for the next time.
Yeah, piggybacking off what he said, we get better every day, whether that's in practice or in games, trying to see what we need to work on in games and trying to make those adjustments in the game. That's something that is really emphasized by Coach English.
John, you've been around for a few years. I mean, given the magnitude of the win, you guys are winning your first 3 games by after 27 points. I mean, is there a different feeling this time around with this group draft this year?
Yeah, I have a great feeling with the guys that we have here. I feel like we have some good chemistry, and we're still starting to get rolling. The teams that we played have all been really good, and I'm excited to continue playing, keep stacking wins.
Anything else for the student athletes? Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Russ, I agree.
Coach, periodically, a couple possessions, they threw out full court pressure, diamond, and I think full court pickup man. You guys broke it. Talk about your team's success in handling that, fairly easily.
Yeah, we don't, I don't think good basketball is neither fast nor slow. We feel we can play, any tempo. A slow game, a fast game is fine. We work on, would like us to do a better job, but it's a different style. We like to pressure, but we're not as, we're not as aggressive in the full court. As disappointed as I was in the first half, especially with three guys with three. It says 6 in that second half, but the main rotational guys really only had 3 in the second half. TJ Gatson, Mike Gray with 1, Joel Kabimba with 2, and 1 was a pass that he should have caught. And, moreover, those guys who did have 3 in the first half had none in the second half. So that's a staple of our program. We want to do a much better job taking care of the ball. It's something we did in our 2 scrimmages. We haven't done yet. We did a great job. This last half of basketball is simply taking care of the ball. Now, I played 3 years, in the 40 minutes of hell system with Mike Anderson, so I don't mind seeing it at all. When we see it, they know we attack it. We're going to meet pressure with pressure, and so we're fine, seeing it.
Kim, the ability to create those open looks, even with some turnovers thrown in, how happy were you with how that has gone so far, particularly tonight?
Well, we have some good shooters, and if you're going to pressure in the backcourt, that just gives our guys more space to operate. And our green light guys, they know if they're open, they have my complete and full total endorsement to shoot the ball. So they'll shoot it, and they'll make them, if they're open more times than not.
And Josh is obviously one of those guys.
Really good to see him make them. Nate Thomason, actually, I've been drawing up plays for Josh to get 3s the first 2 games, and he was 0 for 5. And Nate, a couple nights ago, said, he'll make them when you stop drawing up stuff for him. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to draw up anything for him today to shoot a 3. And we did. And their pressure helped. It helped. It gave us more space, more flow, and he did. It was great to see, but because he was 2 for 10 from 3 last season, and watching his mechanics on film, getting here, getting in the gym with him, I really believe he's a really good shooter, and great for him, great for our team, great for our offense. Going to give us more space to operate, knowing that our 5-man can step out and make 3s. If anyone's listening, Malik Henry can make 3s too. So.
Coach, obviously, expectations were high for yourself coming into this year. I mean, given the results of the first 3 games, what are your standings on what are your thoughts on the where your team is right now? Did you think it would kind of start as well as it did?
Yeah, there's no expectation outside of the moment, and that's what we've always been focused on. We just believe that if we play to our principles, play to our strengths, we're fine with the outcome. We have a mission on defense every single time. We have a mission on offense every single time. And I truly get lost in that. Like, I have no expectations outside of our group executing to our standards, to our program standards every single day. And, the wins and the losses take care of themselves when that's your focus, right? I mean, what do you say? Is your expectation win 20 games? Is your expectation to get to the NCAA tournament? Okay, what do you do when you get to the NCAA tournament? Are you okay with losing, right? Like, so no, it's the process. It's the everyday, and I say it. Rudyard Kipling, he says, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those 2 imposters just the same. So our guys are trying to live in the moment as much as they can, and doing that at a high level is our expectation.
Here's one update on Ronald Polite.
Yeah, he's working his way back. He's working his way back. You know, he was banged up this past season. He had some work done, you know, and he's working his way back. I think he's close.
Coach, similar to what I was asking Josh, I mean, being located right in the DMV, having so much grassroots talent, how much of an advantage do you think that gives you in terms of recruiting for these local guys?
It's great. You know, if Justin Fernandez wasn't at IMG, I wouldn't have been on a plane this fall. You know, it's such a wealth of talent here. And Tulsa, Colorado, Tennessee, we left practice one day this fall, and Simp went somewhere, I went another place, Coach Felton another place, Nate went another place, and we saw high-level kids. And we all were back home, you know, for dinner. And I just texted the staff, I was like, man, like, that is a luxury. That is a luxury. You know, a lot of other places in the country, when you go recruiting, you're gone. You're gone. You're away from our guys. But, you know, it's great coaching. It's great AAU programs, great high school programs, such great talent. And we're going to fight like heck to keep them here in Fairfax, you know, D.C., Baltimore, Maryland, Virginia.
You seem to be, you know, a man-to-man defense-based guy. Did these old eyes see a couple of possessions of zone around?
Yeah, you saw one. One was my mistake. One was my mistake underneath. I meant to go zone when the ball got in. They got in the zone underneath. That's on me. The other possession I did tell them to, you know, but just to see what it looked like, they scored. So I am a man-to-man coach.
Coach, a couple questions. First, real ugly start for both sides. I think it's 5 minutes before you guys got your first field goal. Was that an effect of third game in 6 days, or what was the reasoning that you guys just didn't get off to that quick start? I mean, you ended up scoring 90 in the last 35 minutes, but the first 5, 0 for 6 and 5 turnovers.
Yeah, you know, that's, you know, I got to go back and watch it to see if they were great shots. I felt like there were some rush shots. I felt like Tickett's put back was a rush shot. There were deflections to start. I got to go back and watch it to be sure. It's kind of blurry in my mind right now. But I don't know, maybe. But I know when I was a player and how we made this schedule, if you ask me would I rather be practicing or playing games, I'd rather be playing games. And I've talked to the guys about that. We have an opportunity with the schedule we've made. We're still going to practice. We're still going to get better. We'll be smart about it with how much bone-on-bone stuff we do, but there's great opportunities to get better in games. And we have another stretch where we'll have 2 games in 3 days. Maryland on Wednesday, at James Madison on Friday.
Second thing, you said after the Penn game that there is no garbage minutes, that you evaluate everybody. Talk to me about the minutes that Otis Frazier gave you at the end of this game, his first action of the season.
I love it. I told those guys that. You know, when I had a disappointing moment, whenever the game was, if it was Penn, I told them in the huddle, like Mike Gray, Otis Frazier, looked him right in the eyes, commended him. Like, if you are productive, you're always being evaluated. And Otis Frazier with 9 points, he should have made his free throw and had 10. He was 4 for 4, 3 rebounds. Thought he was great, and I love it. You know, and the things that you won't see on the stat sheet. Mike Gray had a post trap that was executed perfectly, and I love stuff like that. I love it for those guys. You know, they are taking on the DNA of our program. It's do your job. It's do your job.
Kim, the work that Ticket did today all over the place, I mean, that's a full box score right there. I know you saw him every day for a couple seasons, but is that an indication of the guy that basically we haven't had the chance to see here for a couple of years?
Ticket's special. He has no ego. He works really hard. He's an incredible teammate, and he just wants to win, and he plays to win. In practices and games, I'm not sure he's played in a game here yet, but he's played 1 through 4 in games for sure. Mm-hmm. He's been the 1 through 5 in our practices consistently. Can always put him in the game. He's always going to give you his all. And I was fortunate to see that every single day in practice for the past 2 seasons. So really, really fortunate to have him here. I was talking to Carl Hobbs. I really respect the Atlantic 10. Carl Hobbs was a really good coach at GW. And we're watching an AAU game this summer, and he was pointing to a kid. He said, when I was at GW, all my guys looked like him. And the kid kind of looked like Ticket. Mm-hmm. And I texted staff, sent him a picture of the kid, and was like, you know, it's good, and I love it. I love length. I love versatility.
Coach, obviously Wednesday heading to College Park and let's face Maryland. I mean, talk about that game and what it means for the program, for the area, and what you're kind of looking forward to going to seeing them.
It's great. You know, I love basketball in this area. All programs, all levels. You know, Howard's off to a 3-0 start. Maryland's undefeated. You know, Georgetown just started their season. It's great. You know, Virginia Tech's playing well. We're going to try to. We want to schedule. We'll play anybody in the country, anywhere. But we're really excited. It's a great opportunity to play a top 20 team who will compete and win a lot of games in the Big Ten this season.
Speaking of local competition, would you and George Mason be interested in maybe like a DC Big Five, the version of the Big Five in Philadelphia, where you play those dudes every year?
I love it. Absolutely. Set it up, Ron, baby. Set it up. I love it.
Any other questions?
Thanks,
Thank you.
guys. Thank you all.